This is the Endless Ranters Podcast.
Get it on.
Get it on.
This is Jane.
This is Chris. Welcome to episode 51 of the Endless Ranters Podcast. We're back again, and I was going to say possibly live, but we're not live. But you'll be able to see this as it's been recorded. You heard Jane there. You didn't hear Jaden because he's frozen to death. He's in Austin, Texas, where I'm in Texas too, but lucky not to be frozen. He is his power's out.
We assume he's alive. I'm sure.
Assume he's alive, probably with chlamydia.
He has some dogs that he can use for warmth.
Yeah,
and a bottle of Jack, from what I recall.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Yeah,
don't worry, guys.
He's a survivor. So, yeah, it's crazy here in Texas right now. He's south of me by 3 or 4 hours in Austin. I'm in North Texas, north of Dallas, and it's snowed some. I mean, it's not a huge amount of snow, but it's been so cold for like a week straight that everybody's power is out. I mean, everybody's seeing the news stories. It's I don't know. Most people have been fairly lucky, I think, but I've heard a lot of horror stories from people. Some coworkers where upstairs pipes burst, flood down into their first floor of their house, and it's a disaster. Yeah,
JV as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like, what you can do about
I don't know,
that.
Manny. Who are we to talk here in Southern California?
No, I just mean on behalf of, like, you know, Mother Nature is like, here you go, fuck your house and fuck everything inside of it.
It's weird here. We're in North Texas, my area. It's just a lot of new neighborhoods. There's like people in really big houses, you know.
Well, the problem is they didn't build them for this kind of
but it's
climate. Even
I'm always amazed by people's reactions to things when things have definitely happened before. Like I've lived in Texas for 15 plus years now, probably longer, but about less than 10 years ago, we had a crazy ice storm just like this. Like everything was coated in ice. Yeah, and it was really cold. And I was like, I don't remember. You know what? That was 10 years ago, like 10 years earlier in the life of social media, where everybody is on there and just kind of complaining and making their proclamations all the time. So I don't remember it being that big of a deal 10 years ago. And also, like, my point is that it does snow here. It gets icy. It gets really cold here in North Texas. So I don't understand why it's such a surprise. I think it's just a shock to a lot of people that are used to, they have a home that's less than 2 years old. It costs a lot of money. They've got the house is networked. They've got food being delivered by Uber. And then, like, all of a sudden they got no power. And it's like kind of shocking because you're like, oh, I felt like I had everything in this life covered.
Yeah,
and
you're like,
and none of the stuff's working. Like, none of my Nest, my Ring doorbell, my Nest thermostats are not working. You know, it's like none of that matters. You're pretty much the same as everybody else now. And it's been kind of shocking, but I don't know. To me, it's
God got Texas.
Yeah, it's like people complain. It's like, well, you know, like there's all these stores around us that sell generators all the time. Like year round, you can get a generator for $200-$300 that can, you know, power your house for a little while and, you know, kind of get you through these emergencies. But
you said you're on a hospital grid, so you're good to go.
I think actually there's like a water treatment plant, like maybe half a mile from me. Maybe that's it. Cause I never lost power. I lost water pressure. But I think that's just from people being told to fill up their bathtubs and stuff like that. Or I don't know what happens if everybody in a neighborhood has got their faucets on drip or is filling up their bathtubs at the same time. I do have a coworker that's flushing their toilet by melted snow because they hadn't filled up their tubs and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden you have a pipe burst. You have to shut your main water line off to stop like your house from flooding. And now you have no water. There's no plumbers available right now. I mean, they're busy, of course. And then you're just kind of up shit's creek for a while.
Yeah.
So it's just shocking to people. And yeah, that normally are living pretty comfortable lives.
Yeah, I could see that. Like people move to Texas for, you know, a mild winter, or at least that's like the migration. So you get this and you're like, ah.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's like North Texas is like I'm closer to Oklahoma than I am to Austin. Really,
right.
you know, or I'm
Right.
probably about the same distance from Fort Worth myself to Oklahoma. So we're kind of in more like Midwest weather. And then you have,
Somebody lived in Chicago for 8 years.
well, you know, not like that, but you know, we
I'm
get
gonna
like
beg to differ.
not like that, but we don't get we get a pretty good variety, and it gets pretty cold in the winter and it's hot as hell in the summer. So
Yeah.
I lived in
Oh.
Florida where there were mild winters. So your winter in Florida was like, oh, it's just spring.
Yeah, but then you
It's
get
just
the
spring for 6 months.
right, but you get extreme summers. Manny, have
Pretty
you
hot,
ever
yeah.
have you ever seen snow, Manny?
Of course I have.
Okay. What do you mean, of course? You've lived here your whole life. How am I
He's
supposed
talking
to
about
know?
cocaine. He thinks you're talking about cocaine.
I mean, that I've seen that snow
Frozen
as well.
precipitation.
No, a few years ago, a buddy of mine was like, "Hey, let's go out to Big Bear."
And that was your first time. And your
Well,
your
no.
first time, and you said
no. That was the first time I remember like being surrounded by a larger amount of snow. My dad took me once as a child up to I forget where the fuck, and he's like, "Here you go, have some snow." And my cousin being the
have some snow.
yeah, and my cousin being the fucking ruthless asshole that she was as a child, I didn't know that she was packing a really moderately hard snowball behind me, and she's like, "Hey, M!" I turn around, face full of snow. I'm just like, I didn't expect it to play out like this.
You don't think water would hurt that much? Huh?
No, I was not.
Right?
I was surprised. Yeah.
Well, it depends. If you're in like just powdery snow, it's not that bad. But if it's wet snow that just sticks together, yeah, you can pack a punch.
My son hit me in the face with a snowball, like a chunk of ice a couple days ago. He threw it at me thinking that I think he thought he was going to hit me in the chest.
Right.
Or probably miss because he was thinking my aim's not that good. I'll probably miss, but it's worth a shot. And he hit me square in the face.
You should be proud of your boy.
I was a little bit
Because
I was pissed. I didn't want to show him that it hurt, how bad it hurt.
But that means
your father's not weak, son.
I was kind of like insanely livid, but didn't want him to know that he hurt me. So, because that's just part of the life lessons is that you teach a son is, yeah, that kind of stuff. Hide pain, hide your feelings. It's important stuff. Anyway, I'm sorry, I got way off track there. So,
no worries.
Jaden's frozen, but you've heard him already. He's kind of filling in. Mole Man, producer Manny, say something to your fans, buddy.
Hello, everybody. I'm back from sciatic pain hell, and I just got over some food poisoning yesterday, so it was an interesting week overall.
All right, Manny, what did you eat and where? I need to know because I live in your area.
Don't worry, it was a pork rind from some unknown supermarket that just happened to be left over at the house. I was really fucking stoned Tuesday.
I was gonna say you got to hold off the bong before you make your food choices.
No, okay, so
pork rind seems safe to me. Like I don't understand what happened.
Well,
here.
A packaged pork rind, like a known company in a chips bag,
right?
That's not what you're talking about, though. Like you ate one. It was really from was it just out for a while?
No, it was in the bag from the supermarket. I forget. I don't know which one it was purchased at. Was just rummaging through the kitchen, and I was just like, "Is there anything to munch on?" I was like, "We got some pork rinds over here." I was like, "Sweet."
How did you figure this out, though? Like,
what?
So you must have eaten something else.
Yeah. What the fuck did I eat before that?
Is the pork rind just what you ate, but no one else around you that day ate? Is that why you think it was the pork rind?
Yeah. I've had some bad, besides this, back around a little bit after or around Thanksgiving, I had 2 slices of pizza, and one of them was, you guys are familiar with the Manhattan? It's basically just like a meat lover's pizza.
I'm familiar with the meat lover's pizza. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I know a Manhattan drink, but pizza.
I mean, a Manhattan drink pizza. That sounds so bizarre, but no, it was just like a slice of pizza that was fully loaded with like bacon, ham, pepperoni, Italian sausage and some other stuff. That night, I just started to feel it. And the same thing happened the other night when after I was done eating the pork rind, maybe like after I went to bed, a few hours into my slumber, wake up to use the bathroom, and I feel this sensation, this gurgling in my gut. I was very reminiscent of what I had felt the previous time. Back in my head, I'm just like, fuck, don't let it be that.
Are you sure it wasn't just like overload of meat? Like I remember once I went to Wrigley Field and I got a burger.
Right.
Like I ate a burger and I had like 1 or 2 beers. And that night, like I had to puke. I was like, I know it's not the alcohol because they only had 2 beers max. Like it was definitely like something about the meat that just didn't sit right.
Exactly. And I think that's what
So-
it was too with the pork rind. It just happened to be whatever grease that or
Were you fine after you puked?
So I get to work, I puke about 3 times at work, and I just tell my supervisors, like, yo, I gotta bounce. I can't be here like this. Like, I'm not gonna be productive at all
Okay.
for you people. Like, all right.
Uh,
And so I go back home, I puke some more. I say from about 10 to 6, I was passing out, waking up, going to vomit, and then around 6:30 is finally when I was just like, okay, I think I'm done.
so you
Like
got
the-
it out of your system.
Yeah, for the most
Yeah.
part.
Are you good at
Okay.
throwing up?
Getting better at it.
Okay.
Yeah. I
How
don't
about you,
like the
Jane?
sensation.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right? Like when I was younger, I would just do anything and everything to keep myself from throwing up.
Yeah.
Right. The
Yeah.
natural instinct is to not throw up, but now I will like tell myself, Jane, you'll feel better if you throw up. And then I have to like consciously force myself knowing how much better I'll feel, but it's not the natural instinct.
I've grown to like be like, let's go, let's get it out. I learned from
Yeah.
my son is he'll like, I was so proud. He had a football practice once where he wasn't feeling good. Probably should have pulled him out, but he started playing and then he started feeling sick and he was like, I feel like I'm getting sick. So he went off to the side and he threw up. And then he started playing again.
Oh,
Ace
an
would be
early
proud.
I know. I was
boot-
like,
the
yeah,
boot and
son.
rally.
Yeah. But he'll do that. He'll be doing something and feel sick and just go hurl like, "Bleh," and then just come right back, like just recover instantly.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm
Oh.
like,
That's
Okay.
that Korean grit right there.
Ooh,
Well,
yeah.
well, I guess he had it more than me when I was that age. Cause I was like, I don't want this happening. But he's
You're-
more like,
He only
if
has
I
half
do
the
this
Korean
fast,
you do.
I know. But I think he's just like, if I do this fast, I can be back, playing Fortnite or doing whatever I was doing. Get it
You
over
can
with.
puke and play Fortnite. That sounds like pretty doable.
He's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
Well,
just-
kids, when they're doing something they love to do, like it's hard to stop them. Like things can be very uncomfortable, but if they're
right.
doing
There's a
exactly,
motivation
yeah,
factor.
they want to just keep doing whatever they're doing. So,
Exactly.
so.
All right. Well,
So, and
Manny,
sciatic nerve pain. Sorry, man.
Yeah. I'm getting old. I don't know. It's just I couldn't
you
get out of.
need
What's up with the
Manny,
yoga? I thought you were doing yoga. Yoga
Oh,
by Kwana.
dude. Well, I stopped for a while just because I didn't end up having enough room at my spot to do yoga. And recently, actually, the day that we had the day that Jane had her housewarming party, I showed up late because I had ordered a new bed that folds up. It's a twin size, so I could have a lot more space to do shit at the house. And I was late again because it was just like, it showed up. I was like, fuck. I feel weird leaving things unattended or undone. So I was just like, let me put this shit together real quick. Bounce to Jane's. And I started doing yoga more ever since like when we recorded last week's episode. I was all jovial and shit, but inside I was just like, please make this pain stop and go away.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Yoga works. I need to do that.
Pain.
Get back on that myself.
Manny, have you ever
It works.
do you
It
ever get a
absolutely
massage?
does.
Manny,
There's a guy that's like 2 blocks away from here. I don't know if he's still active. He's like this old school cat chiropractor. He has his porch set up where he has like a pull down shade. You go there, massages you like in outdoors, but nobody can see you, and
Okay.
it's really relaxing. And he does a great job. And it's only $20.
Manny, no. You don't
What?
want relaxing. You need it to be painful.
Well, I
Okay,
mean, it's
you need-
relaxing because he helps, ease the stress of whatever the fuck is like causing you pain. It's gonna hurt, but afterwards you're just like,
Okay.
wow, I feel a lot better
Yes.
than I was.
I like it to
Okay.
hurt a little bit too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like
got
that.
I got a 2-hour massage last week and I turned into a new person. Like
I
it
thought you were
was
gonna.
the most
I
At
thought you
the
were gonna say you turned
end-
into a noodle.
What about at the
Noodle.
end of the 2 hours? Were you satisfied, or were you like you'd be at the end of a 1 hour massage where you're just like, what the hell?
No,
What?
I think the 2 hours. So
That you were done.
the 2 hours was necessary, I think. Yeah.
No, was it enough though? Were you like, oh, I wish that went by really
No,
fast. I wish it would go.
It
Okay.
was like perfect.
Okay.
I mean, so I go to this like Thai place that's maybe slightly sketchy. It's $90 for 2 hours, cash
Okay.
only. I tip very well because I don't feel like that's tipping on 90 is not enough.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't agree,
the
but
guy like gets on top of, like, I request a dude because I need someone strong, and I'm like, to your hardest pressure, I will let you know if I need you to let up. So I try to like sucker through, but man, it is not relaxing whatsoever, but I feel amazing after. And he like presses on my glutes and my hip. It like hits a nerve in a way that I'm like, you have to like breathe.
can you
through.
stand up and show us?
No. I know.
I like it to hurt a
uh,
little bit, but it feels
it-
good.
It's an exhilarating pain. It's kind of like the cold water plunge that
like
Adam does.
It's like
I
bondage.
think it's like this.
yeah,
Eh,
it's just exactly like S&M. Exactly.
I don't know about that, but
It's the moment after it. It's the
Mhm.
moment like when they're digging in and that hurts.
and then
As soon as they release, it feels a
And
lot. I don't know.
I feel like he was waiting for me to breathe through it. Like I would, there's like when you step out into cold air too, like Chris, you know this right now, you clench, you're like this tendency to just like tighten all your muscles and go like, yeah. But really, why do you have to do that? Like just relax. Is it making any worse to just relax?
That is a weird reaction
So-
because it doesn't make you any warmer, does it? To clench, but we
No,
do that.
No.
but that is the
thinking,
react, and it's
yeah.
the same thing when I'm getting my like hip nerve pressed into. It's like the same. I want to clench up, and then I have to consciously think, no, you need to just take a deep breath and like breathe into it, and just embrace the pain. It doesn't make it worse.
I had a female masseuse one time. It was one of those like massage envy places, whatever. I had a gift card.
Yeah.
And I thought
They're
I'd signed up for
hacks.
I signed up for like deep tissue or whatever. And then I get in there and I said, yeah, deep tissue, like,
No.
and she's like, I don't do that. So she
Yeah,
just like
because it's-
rubbed my skin for an hour.
She's lazy. She's lazy.
So I take it that she didn't make
Yeah,
your banana
maybe.
cry.
No, well, wasn't
Chris,
that
you
bad
got to
of me.
find one of the sketchy
They're
Thai or
awesome.
Chinese places.
There's so many of those around. They're everywhere, aren't there?
That's
Aren't
where you
they?
wanna
Every
go.
strip mall in America now has a sketchy massage parlor. Like if you
Those are the
you hadn't
best.
noticed yet, you need to notice now. Like every strip mall you drive by has like a Domino's Pizza, a vape shop now, and
Mm.
also a
Massage
sketchy
parlor.
Asian massage parlor. Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't know if I would go to one of those. I do the chair massages if I go to the mall. I haven't been to the
All
mall
right,
in a long time, but
So I had one of those chair massages a few years ago, and taking it back to Jane, it was the most uncomfortable and painful experience I've ever had as far as receiving a massage. This guy was just like, "Fuck this beaner, I'm gonna make
Yeah.
his ass suffer."
yeah, definitely. Those guys are massive racists.
Digging both
Massive.
elbows into my fucking back and sides and shoulder
Yeah,
blades,
man.
and this fuck, dude.
Manny, I would argue that's a sign of love.
I mean, I did make a good first impression on the guy, so I made sure to tip decent when it
I
was
don't
all
know
done.
if there's. I would like to know what kind of training those guys go through. Like, it could be extensive, and it could be a 10-minute video.
They
Yeah.
probably
And then
go,
just do your thing, and just like dig your elbow, like just bang your elbow into this guy. Like, it could be 10 years, or it could be 10-minute video
yeah,
training.
Yeah.
the
I
Cobra
like that.
Kai of
Especially-
massage parlor training.
If you're going to the mall with your family, if you can, like, a first thing, or like you go to like one store, but then really early you get into that, I'm going to go to the massage chair, because that would be what I always did at the mall.
Really? With your family?
You escape for like 30 minutes.
Were you trying to escape to get a massage or to escape from your family?
The latter.
Both. I mean, it's massage is great.
But
and
you
then
go to the
also, like,
massage
you're not
pla-
chasing
wait.
kids at a mall for 30 minutes.
Blah, blah, blah. Would you go by yourself? If you're shopping by yourself, would you just be like, oh, I'm going to go get a massage?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I think my point was that there's a bonus.
Got
There's
it.
a bonus at the mall. At the mall here, they have one of those with the like 6 Chinese dudes in their chairs outside of the Dick's Sporting Goods. So that's where we park. Go in. Yep. Hey, man, those are good though, and it's pretty cheap. It's like $20 for 20 minutes or something.
Yeah.
So.
$1 a minute. That's pretty good. Although my place, $90 for 2 hours. So
I mean, averages
That's
it
pretty
out
good.
to 45 an hour, so it's not bad.
I don't see why you feel the need to tip heavily if someone's making $60 an hour, or if it's costing you $60 an hour.
Oh shit! Here
Because-
comes Mr. Pink.
it's way under market rate. I think they advertise on their thing that it's a special that's really $110. So I mean, the guy makes a good effort. Like, he got literally on the table and like is like maneuvering himself on the table with you. Like, that takes some skill. Like, I respect that skill.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And 2 hours of like putting full string when I request like full
I'm sorry.
pressure.
It's not $60 an hour. It's 2 hours for $90. So yeah. Okay.
Yes, it was 2 hours. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not really sure what to tip them, but don't really care. Get what they get. I
right.
don't remember the last massage I had, but
Maybe you're overdue for one.
probably. But anyway, I need to do some yoga. So
All right. Should we?
I'm glad
give
you're
a
feeling
shout
better.
out? Yeah.
Glad you're
Thank
feeling
you.
better. And this intro is taking a long time, but also wanted to say shout out to Robbie Spotlight. You know who he is, Rob Castaneda. He's our hype man. He's out there spreading the word, and he's due for a visit very soon. So you get to see
Rapping
him.
Robbie.
You'll be able to see him reading his freestyle raps.
Some say sooner than we think.
Yeah.
Maybe. Anyway, so tonight, what are we going to do tonight? We got a couple of things we're
about
going
our
to get into. What's that?
Our Corolla verse.
Yeah. So first thing I want to cover is Corollaverse, and the number one thing in the Corollaverse this week was Adam Carolla, 3,000 episodes. Number 3,000. I have to admit that this week I've been working from home, so I haven't listened yet. I listened to 29.99, but I didn't listen to 3,000 yet. So,
Dude, slacker.
I know,
Bro, it was pretty goddamn entertaining.
I
Like
know.
Yeah.
that the whole vape thing. I lost my fucking shit when that came up in topic of discussion.
Okay.
That
Well, why?
came what?
What about the vaping?
Because he was
Vaping
talking
good?
about. So basically, he was asking Dawson, "Yo, you ever vaped in one of those airplane bathrooms?" And Jane, did he say yes or no? I can't remember.
Oh, he had to have said yes.
Oh, I might have been tuned out at this point, to be
But-
honest.
Yeah, I was pretty stoned
this-
too.
But
But
was
I
this
think
related to the 3,000th? I mean, it was on the 3,000.
yes, it was.
Okay.
And Dawson confirmed, and then the whole thing just eventually devolved into a bit where Ace was like, "Okay, new idea for pot vape, so you don't get busted smoking in the airplane."
Oh,
Ass scent.
right.
It's like you exhale vape that fucking vapor that smells like shit, essentially. So when someone comes in after you, they're just like, ugh, instead of some fruity fucking concoction that a lot of these vapes end up having or using.
Can't you just eat? Can't you just eat an edible?
Man, I'm tempted,
That's a
but I mean, you can because of the way that they hit their delayed effect. So if you time it right, you can
Oh,
probably eat some before you go through the security checkpoint or some shit, and then that way you don't have to worry about them like rummaging through your stuff. It's like, what is this contraband? And just be high as fuck when you're taking off or whatever.
What if you put in it's like edibles and you just threw them in a bag with a bunch of gummy bears?
That's the
Did
other
they
thing too.
did the
Yeah, you could do
dogs like
that.
pick up on the scent or like
That's
they-
one
I
thing
don't
I've
know.
always wondered about, because they like when you do eat them, you could taste it. So I'm wondering if just the taste alone being prominent in there is enough to give off a scent to the dogs at the
yeah, taste
airport.
and smell are totally
I guess they train. Yeah, I'm
connected.
sure they train the dogs.
But
not
do
be-
the dogs, are they actually trained for that? Is that what they care about? Like, I would.
That's a
can
good
we
question.
Train the dogs for COVID and terrorists. Like, this is.
What about STDs?
Yeah, the
Well,
gonorrhea dogs.
You train your own dog for STDs. Come on. Like, that's on your own time.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I don't want my
Noted.
tax money going to like dogs detecting STDs for people flying to other places. Like, I do not give a shit.
Not just for flying. It's just this is like Adam Carolla. This is an Adam
Well-
Carolla bit. Like that was his idea.
Yeah, no, I
was
agree it's possible.
Cancer
but
sniffing
just-
dogs, like gonorrhea
like,
sniffing dogs.
But nah. Like, why do we need to out people with STDs on a massive public
Oh no, don't
in a
have the
public
dogs
way?
don't have the STD dogs at the airport. I mean, employ them where
So-
they're most
oh,
needed.
Okay, like at a medical office.
Medical
Okay,
office, orgy,
but anything
bar.
should-
At your
any-
home, I mean,
At
you're
home.
dating a lot, so you should get a dog and
A
train it
lot
up or
is a
something.
relative
Protect.
term.
I know.
Well, you've gone on a
Protect
good amount
yourself.
of dates.
Sure.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, imagine how helpful that would be if your dog comes over and he starts acting especially weird around your date, and you already know, like the dog gives you the look. It's
That
like,
is
"Ah."
true. But like, do I have to are trained sniffy dogs good pets too? Or are they like so hyper trained that like they're annoying?
No, the few dogs that I've been around that have been like properly trained are some of the most docile,
Okay.
from what I remember.
I would
I
like to have a
guess-
dog under my command. That's cool. I don't know if I would.
Yeah. But I want
I
a
would put
snuggly
the
dog
work in
too.
for that.
But I want my dog to be snuggly. Like, it's well trained. Like, sense if I have cancer, like the first sign of cancer, let me know. But snuggle with me in bed. Like, I want both. Is that both possible?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'd
It
have to
seems-
disagree with you on the dog sleeping with you in the bed. That I don't understand why people do that. It's like, when I eventually get back to owning a pet, it's just like, love you, bro, but this is my spot. Fuck
It's
off.
all I know. So I dog sat for 2 months when I first moved out here to LA
Mhm.
for a big bulldog. And they're just like, he'll sleep with you in the, like, that's his thing. Like, he sleeps with us in the bed. He's going to sleep with you in the bed. And I was like, okay, that's, I've never had a dog. So that's all I know. And I like loved it, but it was a king bed. That was the other thing. Like, it was a king bed. And
I didn't like my
so-
dog. My last dog would not fall asleep in bed with me, but I would wake up and he would be on my legs, which I actually kind of liked.
Yeah, it's like sweet.
But I would never actually fall asleep with the dog in the bed. But when I
Same.
wake up, the dog would be in there on my legs.
So
like-
this dog had a hard time getting on the bed by itself.
yeah, eventually mine did. Yeah, couldn't get up.
So I had to like, it was like every night it was like, oh, it's like an ordeal to like whoosh, 70-pound bulldog. So, but it was sweet. Like, he like I'd wake up and he'd be like nestled next to me, and I was like, aw,
That is kind of sweet. That is nice.
it is really
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. Now I'm sad.
Cheer up.
I'm fine.
Cheer up and get excited.
Okay. Pull it together here. Anyway, so
No
yeah, so
tears.
Corollaverse, 3,000 episodes.
3,000 episodes. The montage was so cute.
It was awesome.
It made my heart like swell. And like, I was around for 2000, but I was not around for 1000 or the beginning or Loveline or Man Show. And I was
Fucking
just like,
bandwagon fan.
Oh,
I know. Janie come lately. What? I don't know if I was around for 1,000 episodes. I've been listening for a
I don't know
long
if he-
time. Like,
Yeah.
he didn't make a big deal about it. He was just, I think someone might have mentioned it in passing, but he was just like, whatever, business as usual. I think. Don't
Yeah.
quote
yeah.
me.
So
But
they,
he appreciates the video montage for sure.
I enjoyed it because of the photo at the end where it showed the family barbecue from a couple
Oh, I
years back.
know.
Ace is a really great, I don't know how to say this, like success fits him well because he does appreciate the little things. Like he would never say like, hey team, go make me a montage video of myself. But when it is
No.
created, I think he realizes how fortunate he
He
is.
has
and,
good
you know,
people.
that-
He gets
yeah.
good people around him to do
Yeah.
those things, and he kind of senses that. I remember I haven't said this to him obviously, but I've said it to Lynette in the few times I've met her. And I'm like, you know what? I think he knows his hole, and I think he knows where he has holes, and he's hired people to fill those holes, whether he
Yeah, I
admits
think
it or
that's fair.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a smart businessman. He knows like, yeah, I mean, I think he's he just, a lot of good can come from being very logical. All right. And being results driven.
I like to think that too.
Yeah.
Yes.
But so, and yeah, like in the Corollaverse, so 3,000 episodes, we've got a little something coming up next weekend.
Yes, we do. All
fortunate.
three of us.
Oklahoma
Mark.
City.
OKC. We're going to be seeing Adam Carolla in Oklahoma
All
City.
right. Have
I
any
don't
of
know a
you?
lot of details. I think it's a Friday and Saturday.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Friday, Saturday shows. I think Friday we're going to the VIP.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then us California people want to eat indoors. So that's on the agenda.
I mean, according to Meg, that might be difficult to pull off. Everything shuts down
Well,
early over there.
Early, but no, well, that's difficult for her making reservations for 8. So Megan is one of Adam's employees that has been responsible for his dinner reservations on his trips. So shout out to Megan.
Hi, Megan.
She's joining.
Hey.
She's joining us next weekend.
She's a member of the Lady Lackeys.
Yes,
They have a
yes.
Check out that podcast.
Yeah.
For everyone who thinks Adam doesn't employ women, you have been proven wrong.
Some of the most wildest ladies out there working for him.
Yeah, Oklahoma City. We're gonna eat indoors. This is on our agenda.
It's like what you're looking forward to the most is like, fuck the live show. I just want to go eat somewhere
It
indoors.
is so weird. That is weird that
Your priorities, you have to understand your priorities when you're under COVID.
people can eat indoors here, but I don't think a lot of people are eating indoors here.
Okay, interesting. When I was in Austin,
I don't know.
I was in Austin in Thanksgiving, and I definitely ate indoors there, like without weirdness.
I'm not sure if there's a capacity limit. There probably, I don't know if there is or not,
Yeah.
but I think it's kind of just there are enough people out there that are worried
Really,
to some degree that
it keeps
will-
it not too.
they'll do carry out. They'll drive the group. Maybe there's
But-
something about going somewhere and sitting someplace in public for more than a couple minutes. They draw the line there, but I don't know that for sure because I don't go out to eat myself, but
Is that
I
because-
drive by the places and none of them, they're not busy.
Yeah.
They're not busy inside.
Oh, that's well, it seemed adequate when I was in Austin. I was like, this is refreshing. But I was coming from California where everything was shut down. So
It's weird to hear all this shut down, like the school and all that, especially the school talk, because our kids here in Texas have been in school, or I guess everywhere in Texas, but at least in my area, it's a pretty large area. Like everybody's been in school since September.
like
think
normal people.
In-person school, since September. I think they started the first month of school remotely, and then everybody had a choice. And then after another few months, they gave people a choice again. And I think most kids are doing in person. And I mean, I feel like it's been many, many months. And if the body bags were lining up, we'd know about it. Like I know CNN's
Yeah.
got people and everybody's got people looking for like some sensational story of dead kids from COVID, and they're just not happening.
Nope.
And not teachers either. Now it could be different in other areas because maybe in Texas, it's just a lot of new growth. So a lot of young teachers. So, I mean, it may not be like Miss Crabapple, like most people can imagine, like the teachers in my kids' school are like, they all seem like 25,
Yeah.
30. There's not a lot of old lady teachers here, but there are some. But so it's really weird to hear these continued arguments in other states about school reopening, and when so many states, their kids are back at school and they've been in school for months and they're not, like, it's nothing, obviously nothing bad is happening to the
Right.
kids or the teachers that are back in school.
Right.
So it's
All
very
right.
strange to hear that. So
So
yeah,
we-
so Corollaverse, 3,000 episodes. We got
Mhm.
Oklahoma City coming up. I think we're going to get more into the Adam Carolla podcast Facebook group too, and kind of try to see what kind of controversies and hubbub is all about over there. But not this week. We're going to move on, right? Because
there's
Jane's
news
got-
out there.
Jane's got
Yes.
news. Jane's
All
got some
right.
news.
So my first little news bit, let's see, it's Bill Gates is, come out and said he's kind of caused a little bit of an uproar that he says rich nations, and he's kind of in the energy business. He's trying to conserve energy worldwide and whatever his ventures are. And he's saying that rich nations, quote unquote, should be transitioning eventually towards 100% synthetic beef. So this is like meat developed in a lab, like DNA replicated in a lab, and people are there's a natural
Hold on. So it's not plant-based. He's talking about
no, he's not
beef being
right.
created like without the cows
Correct.
farting and all that stuff, but just growing.
Right.
Dude, that's
doing
where, like-
stem cell replication hypothetically is supposed to be equivalent to real meat in terms of DNA and nutrients and all that. But, they're probably going to have to put things like hormones, GMOs, and people are in an uproar. And Bill Gates is just sort of like, he went from this techie Microsoft billionaire mogul. I call him mogul.
Great choice of
Mongol
words.
son of a
Mogul.
bitch. Like,
And
Genghis
now
Khan
he's
looking.
So, okay, is he kind of analogous to Richard Gere in the gerbil? Is this like the billionaire's version of Richard Gere in the gerbil? Because
Wait, are you
It's
telling me
like-
that they had to pump his stomach full of rotten beef, or what are you getting at here?
so my point is Richard Gere, at the height of everything, banging Cindy Crawford, where do you go sexually? You stick a gerbil up your ass for like something new. Bill Gates, richest man in the world at one point, billionaire. What was he worth? $40 billion. Where do you go from there? You try to like insert yourself into like world domination.
Could
Is this
be.
what he's doing? Like, this is the only next step. Like, there's no one out there to meet this. There's no one to compare yourself to like meet. So you have to create your own next step.
When you have that much money, like you can make people believe in a lot of stuff. I have no idea. I'd have to read more about it.
I don't
to
think it's like
understand it,
some
but
people think he's like the Antichrist, and I don't know if he's. I
yeah,
don't think that. I just think he's like doesn't know where to go next as a billionaire.
I
Or
don't
do you
know
think
much
he's
about
I was
using-
like,
His resources to help mankind.
I think he
maybe.
thinks he's in the right. I just don't know if this is, the best. This is the most sound, humane angle.
Yeah, the
It's my problem. Just like Richard Gere and the gerbil. Like, really?
Oh wait,
Like,
since-
do you like sit back and like feel better about did this
Well,
enhance your life?
the
Or you
problem is
just
you can
like
grow
don't know
a
where
cow. You can grow a cow with no technology. It sounds like to make synthetic beef, you need a lot of technology.
That's the
So,
other thing.
like,
It's expensive. It sounds very expensive.
And since it's Bill Gates, how much you want to bet that it's just like it's
He's just like, let's throw money at this.
yeah, or how much of it is being underwritten by him in hopes that it'll pay off in the long run.
See, I think that's the part that's the maybe Jane's getting out. The weird part is that there's no more profit motivation for him.
Right. I don't
Unless
think
he's
a
just
greedy-
crazy, unless he's insane and he has a personal goal of being worth $8 gazillion.
No, I don't think he does.
There's
I
no
think that, like, you
more
lose
profit that can make a
motivation.
difference in his
Yeah.
life. Yeah.
I think he's going to the next thing. Just like Richard Gere, he's
Space.
like, I'm done banging hot women because I got Cindy Crawford.
Well, I see. The
Hold
problem with
on.
the Richard Gere part is that there's steps. Like my next step, like, okay, you get Cindy Crawford, you get a little bored. The next step is not gerbil in your anus. The next step is Cindy Crawford and her best friend.
You stick a gerbil up their butts.
And another or another or like two Cindy Crawfords at the same time.
Her and her daughter.
I gotta pose this question to you too. Do you
That's
think
weird. Her and her daughter.
you think that Cindy Crawford was the one that put the idea in his head and he's like, you know what? Why not? And she
Definitely.
put the gerbil up his butt.
I don't know. I can text her. I mean, text her.
Hmm.
Bro, I didn't know you had her number. Put me
I
in
try
touch with
not
her.
to. She never stopped. Yeah. Never stopped. Can't take a hint, you know. No, I don't know. I doubt it. I doubt it. But yeah, there's a lot of steps between Cindy Crawford and gerbil.
That's
A
true.
lot of steps. A lot of
There's
steps.
a lot of
weirdness.
weirdness.
Yeah, like
You're right.
yeah, Cindy Crawford and her other model friends coming over. Like that's another step before
Mhm.
gerbil on a string. I wonder if that, yeah, probably happened. It's probably true. Yeah. So yeah, Bill Gates. I hope we have some more stories like this because I didn't know anything about this idea, but I've seen in the last few months numerous posts, comments about Bill Gates being like the worst person in the world or like doing the most damage to the world in the last year. And it's probably hyperbole, but maybe there's where there's smoke, there's fire, a little bit of fire maybe. And like he's getting carried away with some of these projects.
I think carried away is a good way of putting it.
Because it's like,
Because like, what do you do next? Like he has to find the next step.
I think
And being the richest person in the world, like of course he has to keep going in some other realm. He has to conquer the next thing. And I worry that that's like exerting control. And I don't know the details of him and his ventures and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Like I'm not an expert on this. I'm just going off of instinct. And
there's certain things I know. Like there's one thing I know of
wine.
where they were giving a ton of money to rural states, like say like Montana, right?
Mhm.
To basically pay for all libraries in Montana or something like that to have high-speed internet because of, like 15 years ago, like it was pretty shitty, right? They had like, I don't know what they had, but that's a great thing because you're basically trying to create this huge pipeline of information for free for everybody, for humanity. Now you're getting into the venturing into like what we should be eating. Like, not all right. That's, I don't know.
Not a one size fits all.
Mhm.
But then like if an organization comes to him and says, we would like your funding because we have this idea, he can't just give the funding and then tell them to shut up. Like if he's funding them, he's not just funding their research, he's funding whatever marketing they're doing and whatever, marketing, whatever persuasion, whatever they're trying to do, whatever they're trying to convince people of, he's funding that as well. So it may not be all nefarious if he thinks it's a good idea and he just gives the money and then the marketplace kind of will decide whether people want to listen to that or not. But then again, if you have the most money, you dominate the marketplace and you decide kind of what you can decide to some extent what information people get. And, but I'm kind of curious about this subject because it is a weird thing. Yeah, it is a weird thing for one man to have that much power.
I know what it is now. He's gonna chip us, track us, and see how much everyone in the fucking world eats.
Oh,
That's part of the nefarious plan of whatever he has up his sleeve. I
Does
don't
he
know what
even? So many people are already doing that on their own,
right?
right? So many people are already doing that through various apps on their phones, their
Maybe
Fitbits,
that's
whatever,
why-
that kind of shit, like clubs they
Oh,
join,
yeah,
and they
yeah.
have no idea that when they downloaded the app that Apple's sharing that information with every fucking body,
Including Bill
So,
Gates.
everybody, like everybody.
you
You
should be able to tell from your ads too
know,
these days. Can you tell like what all they information they have just by the ads you get?
you can, but that's
Kinda
kind of
creepy.
that's weird too, because I've experienced that before, and I'm like, thank you.
I
I was
agree.
looking at that product the other day, and I did not bookmark it or
Oh,
save it, and
this
you're
do
reminding
you
me
s-
about it. I
you
thank
see
you.
this? Do you see this hoodie I'm wearing right now?
Yeah,
The zip up.
the internet
I
tricked you into buying
saw,
it.
oh, it showed me the ad and I had never heard of it before. I clicked on it 5 minutes later. I bought this hoodie for $50. And I was like, that's kind of slutty. It feels a little slutty.
Did it live up to the hype?
Oh, I wear it like all the time. Yes.
I mean, in a lot of cases, that kind of thing works. Like having
Yeah.
things catered to you. I don't want to see advertisements for,
Yeah.
it is a waste.
I discovered so in Chicago, I discovered Bar Method, which is, a workout company, a franchise. And I like bought, a Guilt City 1 month, $99 special. And I kept going with it. I was like, oh my God, I love this. I'm so glad it recommended this to me. And then I ended up like becoming an instructor and like I talk about it all the time and it got me in the best shape of my life. So I can't like, yes, these ads like cater really, really well. Like I'm very grateful that that happened. So
It's a weird thing. There's a line from a poem I always think of as progress is a comfortable disease, because so many of these things are awesome, but they are also really dangerous for humans. Like just we depend so much on technology that I don't know. Like I'm glad, I guess in some way I'm glad when like a snowstorm hits like this, like it's a really good thing, because it reminds people like slow down a little bit.
yeah.
When the power goes out and none of your shit, where you can't even do anything, like you can't do anything, you can't feed your kids when the power goes out. That's a problem. That's a problem. So okay.
All right.
So take a break, and Manny and I, or should we do an intermission? Can we get away with that kind of thing?
All right.
Yeah, they can edit that out. Or Manny can edit that out. All right. We still don't have any kind of clock going, do we? Yeah. I don't know if you saw it. Jane's got to pee. So
We're at 1 hour and 4 minutes.
okay.
Wait, can we pause this?
I don't think so. I guess you could pause recording, but I don't know. I don't know how that. I need to get a refill anyway.
All right. So next story, we got this guy. So this is on your neck of the woods, Chris and Jaden, although it's out in Houston, and I know Texas is a big state. So Jim Mattress McIngville is opening his mattress stores in the Houston area to allow people to sleep in the store on the mattresses. Just as because everyone's without power, left without power, heat from the storms, which is very sweet. And apparently he did this also during the Hurricane Harvey back in a few years ago.
Is that the one where Joel Osteen got in big trouble because he didn't open up his mega church to people?
Oh, probably. Yeah,
Yeah,
this
I think
guy's
it was.
a better Christian then.
But
And he's just a local business owner.
Right. He's a local business owner. He's very like, trying to be good to the community. So it's very sweet. But I also like this article, like this is driving me nuts. Like it doesn't explain like, okay, 1,000 people came to the store for shelter and more than
Wow,
300 people spend the night. Like how do you determine which 300 get to spend the night? Like it doesn't
First come,
go
first serve.
into
how is this
into,
mattress?
like,
How big is this
fight.
place? Damn.
I know, right? Also, where do people go to the bathroom? Like, did he get enough porta potties for this?
I hope
Like,
so.
Where, like, there are just so many like they want to focus on the nice, and like I get that, but I just, as a reader, I am like,
Yeah, if you're
I wanna
skeptical, you're like,
understand the
maybe this
details
didn't
of how
happen.
this manifests itself.
Yeah,
Yes.
who counted
No.
1,000 people?
If there's
Like-
anyone out there in the Houston area that went and spent the night or knows someone who spent the night at this place, I want to know what happened. I want to know how this went down.
There was a communal
Was it-
chamber pot.
Was this, the Superdome in Hurricane Katrina situation, and they just don't want to report on that? I'm just very curious.
Yeah, I'm not as curious, but yeah, it's something's not right here. That's
Or
a
maybe
lot
there
of
was
people.
just like a
who
giant
counts these
pit.
people? I'm not very
Right.
good at counting crowds. So
Also, do you want to buy a mattress from this place now? That like,
well, that's the sad thing is
people
that everybody
haven't
that stayed there,
showered in a few days.
they're gonna those ungrateful bastards are gonna order their mattresses online. You know what I mean? Like that's what
Yeah.
I'd like to
So
know.
these are just like display mattresses.
Yeah, I think they're the ones that are either floor models or they're just already wrapped up in whatever, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
They probably end up being donated anyway.
Well, I hope he sells a lot of mattresses. I mean, that's good.
You think he had any COVID protocols? That's the one thing that's probably gonna
Oh, damn. He's a
Oh.
killer. Well, now he's a killer. He went from nice Christian to killer. He's a killer.
lock his ass up.
Well, they did
Hmm.
state that like the matches were spaced well enough to maintain. Also, do you like how many people per mattress?
All right, I'm
Freeze to
thinking
death or
since-
COVID. Freeze to death or COVID.
Right? I'm
Come
thinking
on.
there was probably 150 mattresses and there was 2 to a mattress.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a lot of mattresses in one store. That's like, I don't think, like, I don't.
Does he
I'm
provide
trying
blankets?
to think of a large. I'm
Do you
trying
have
to think
to
of a
bring your
large store.
blankets?
I
Like,
mean, there's
who
so many
should?
logistics that have been left out.
You should,
Right.
right? You should bring.
Right.
You should
Like,
bring your own blankets.
I need a firsthand account of this situation.
We should call the
Before-
owner and get the rundown.
Does he tweet? Yeah, you're right. I should see if he tweets.
Oh man, that would be an incredible guest to have him come on, and because like the stories,
Yeah,
like
he
there's no
looks like a
way.
nice guy. Like I think he's a very well-intentioned guy. I just wonder if it spiraled out of control. He said it's 100. Okay, he says it's a 100,000 square foot turn shelter.
Jesus.
100,000
That's a
square
big
feet.
s-
That's huge.
That's a big space. Yeah.
I've never seen a mattress store that big.
Well, everything's bigger in Texas, so it makes sense.
Aren't
That's
all
true.
mattress stores like perennially going out of like having a going out of business sale?
For sure.
this is-
Why?
Like because mattress store, these people are suspect, right? There's nobody that runs a mattress store that's on
No,
the
you're
up and
thinking
up.
rugs. Rugs are
Yeah.
the suspect ones. Those
Especially
are the
here in town. and-
underground drug. Like they like sell one rug a month. to
Okay,
pay
well,
the
I mean, if
rent,
it's
but
a
they're really, like
national-
a drug selling business. Yeah.
I'm talking about like there's like national chains of mattress stores, okay, that are in every big like shopping center. They're legitimate, but there's a lot of like super mattresses are us kind of shitholes like that out there that
Yeah.
are pretty sketchy. And I don't
Mhm.
know, like there must be a huge, I think that's the thing. I think there's a huge markup in mattress sales. Huge.
Probably.
Huge. Yeah. Anyway, as much as I love talking about mattresses,
Hold on, before we move on, I did a little digging of my own, and apparently people brought their blankets with them. So
Ah.
yeah,
Okay.
faith in
you,
humanity restored.
yeah.
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 And then
Okay.
the other cool thing is that the owner also paid for food and meals for the people that spent the night there. So
That's
at least
pretty
they also
sweet.
wouldn't go hungry. Yeah, man, it's really
It was
awesome.
pretty nice. Still a killer. Still a killer, but
Spreading
very
that fucking
nice.
corona.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, there's some other. You have another kind of a news story or like you have a news analysis for us, right?
Yeah. Okay. So
Scientific.
yeah, CNN, I don't really go deep into CNN at all, but I will go to skim the headlines. And I've noticed I decided to just do a randomly just decided go to CNN main page, do a search for Trump and do a search for Biden and see how it compares throughout the day. And Trump will outnumber, like the number of Trump strings outnumbers the number of Biden strings throughout the day.
Are you actually searching or doing
And
or like looking and just doing a count?
no, I'm doing an actual search, like
Oh, just a search,
control
okay.
F, enter Trump.
Okay.
It shows 7 results. Now, granted, one of them was Ivanka Trump. And then, so you can knock that down to 6. And then I go to Biden and I just do a search for Biden and it'll be 3. On the main page of CNN, not only that, but Trump is in like the top headline. Like he's in the I don't even have to scroll down. Like the scroller is at the top. To get to Biden, I have to go halfway down.
Yeah.
It's
a weird time,
bizarre.
right? Yeah. I mean, I can understand it to some degree because Trump,
He's still in like
he's just, he is what he is.
But they're like holding on to Trump as much as they can because like that's what gets clicks. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's just
all the news agencies, I mean, whether it's CNN or Fox, I mean, they're all like the most important people working there are the analysts, the click analysts or whatever they would call them,
right.
Are the analytics people that are like, hey, like there's a pattern here. If there's Trump in the headline and if it's something negative, like, averages X amount of clicks. And if it's something about Biden and his Green New Deal announcement, like no one wants to read about, like no one's clicking on that. And that's what drives things. That's what drives their stories. I mean, they can say, I mean, and again, CNN or Fox, whatever, they can act like there's some kind of, meeting of minds and there's like an intellectual decision about what they cover, but it's really it's all money based.
The short game. They're in the short game
right
now.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. So I don't really read CNN. If I watch cable news, I will watch Fox, but I do watch it with like kind of a filter of like, I know like this is entertainment. This is not really like, I think I was saying to you, like people that watch Fox a lot, neither channel changes anybody's minds. They just give their viewers ammunition for the next day of like what analogies to use and that kind of crap. But they're all the same. I will go like when I see a news story that maybe reflects poorly on a Democrat or something. I am always curious. I will go to CNN.com just to see if it made like the front page of their website or if it got kind of pushed. And then it's always like Fox has it front and center and CNN has it kind of off to the side. And then it's vice versa if it's anything else. So it's just such garbage that like creates, I don't know, such garbage on both sides that kind of creates our political environment. I don't know. It's depressing.
I agree. I don't know what to listen to. That's why I just listen to Adam. I'm like, I'll get my news stories from Gina. Check.
Yeah, I think like I read a lot of news stories and there's always just something missing. Like you were reading the mattress story and it's like, there's so many just missing pieces. Like,
yes.
Like you're, they're just making a feel good story. They don't want to like
general population not curious. Like they're just like,
it might not be that they're not curious. Maybe just that some don't have the time.
There's also a weird thing with local news to where there isn't local news anymore. It's like your local news is like some subsidiary of probably, Time Warner or something. And it's also like a clickbait model
Yeah.
Right. So there's no real time being put into these things. And they're just like sharing these stories. Like you're reading it on your local news site, but it's really being shared on like all kinds of other sites that are all owned by the same company. So it's you just said, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, honestly. Read history and see the patterns. I don't know.
Yeah, my thing
That-
is like get into things that aren't trendy, that don't feel trendy, like that
Life's a
have like
trend.
hold the test of time,
Yeah.
which is kind of hard to determine, I guess. But
History really does
don't-
repeat itself.
don't wear a muumuu.
No. I don't know.
Didn't work out well for Homer Simpson.
Oh my God. My son is getting into The Simpsons and we pick and
Oh,
choose
that's-
episodes. Yeah, it is great.
Yes.
It
That's
really is.
impressive.
It really is
Good.
great. So we started that episode. The Homer gets morbidly obese.
Yeah.
I was just like,
Dude, I was just
he's
thinking
not
about
ready
that.
for this. He's not ready for this yet because I'm
I
gonna have to
would-
explain this shit to him. I'm gonna have to explain these jokes to him, and he's not ready.
Every
But
once
there
in
are
a
some
while,
that are
there's I'm sorry to cut you off, but every once in a while, there's a line from that episode, a specific line that Bart says to gross Lisa out, where he's envisioning himself as the overweight dude, and he's just like, "I wash myself with a rag on a stick."
I always loved the whole like if you rub it on paper and you can see through the paper or whatever it was.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
and it makes the paper see through, then it's okay to eat.
yeah.
Oh, that was great. The Simpsons are great, and I'm hoping that kind of like kind of segues into some lessons about the absurdity of society and society's rules, because I think that's why The Simpsons are funny to me.
Yeah, totally.
It's funny to think back. So when The Simpsons came out, I was in second grade, and there was a rule at my elementary school: you couldn't wear Simpsons t-shirts.
Wow, that's so fucking lame.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every conversation, like the last year has been pretty crazy. You got young kids. Like I've got two girls that are starting to talk, but like my son is 9 and he's coming online, as Adam would say, right? As Adam
Mhm.
Carolla would say.
Like a sense of humor.
So we've had a lot of conversations where he's had some big questions, and I swear to God, like every conversation in the last year just ends with me basically throwing my hands in the air and be like, "Son, adults are stupid."
It's
Nick,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Like I'm telling you, I'm trying to explain why this is happening in the world, and it really all boils down to grown-ups are stupid. And yeah,
Has he thrown that in your face then? Is like, so in
not
that instant-
yet.
Okay.
I haven't really drilled that into him, but it's like, and I'm kind of half joking, but man, it really all does kind of come down to that.
Right.
And I hear him come home from school saying things like, Biden won because he tells the truth and Trump's a liar, like stuff like that.
Right.
Which is like really innocuous and not a big deal at all. And it's like they hear a million things in the playground, and then sometimes I'll sit them down and be like, no, son, they're all liars. They're all liars. I don't know. And I feel bad because it's like I feel bad, but
Why do you feel like you're gonna turn him into some disenfranchised young adult? The more
it's
you
that
speak-
innocence, like it's
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. When I was a kid and like reading books and having your English teacher, your literature teacher, like talk about the loss of innocence in novels, and they think, I'm like, what are you talking about? But now as a dad,
Right.
I'm like, I get it. Like you're just trying to keep them sheltered from reality for as long as you can.
Yeah.
But man, shit's just accelerating now. And I feel like the sooner he knows that, so much of it is just a sham, the better.
Hmm.
So,
you-
so he doesn't just start playing a role in the sham, just
So are you
join in.
champing at the bit to like finally like just let it all roll out and just hip him to what's going on, or are you just letting his
Nah.
curiosity dictate the pace at which
really
these
try to let-
conversations?
That's a good question, because I really try to let your curiosity go. I try not to like put my opinion, like try to draw the line between what I know and what what is my opinion. I try not to put that on him, too much.
I heard there's an interesting theory that if you've parented correctly, you've sort of structured things so that your kids don't end up all the same. Like if you look at families with like multiple kids and they're all very similar, that's a bad
Something's
sign.
wrong.
Yes, but if you've allowed them, if you've given them the space to explore their
Yeah.
own interests, that's a sign of healthy parenting. Like you
Yeah.
haven't exerted your authority over them too much. So I think
So it's
that's
a natural thing to reject what your parents tell you. Like when you haven't, like, I think when you're
Mhm.
young and you haven't figured it out yet and someone's telling you how it is, there's a natural, for most people, I think there's probably
But
like a
you
natural
also
to
there's
reject
it's
that.
hard because you also want to provide some level of structure for your kids in terms of like morals and a worldview. Like you don't want to be a complete free for all.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
a weird, it's a hard balance.
Yeah. I don't think there's any rule to it. Yeah. I guess every parent just has to have a feel for like the right balance. Yeah. I'm very much into, I want him to come to these conclusions on his own with his own
Right.
logic and not,
Right.
I'm going to tell you how it is and why it is that way. And then you just go with it. I don't know. I mean, there's some things I do, but a lot of things I don't. And also I'm very curious. I think I may use my children as a sociological experiment sometimes because I'm curious, like to see their reaction to new things. Right.
Mhm.
To see,
Yeah.
like my son has had some kind of, he said some things about when this year we watched a lot of NFL together. And if you watch the NFL on network television, you're seeing tons of commercials. There's nonstop Black Lives Matter stuff. There's nonstop, just nonstop social messages. And I have seen him, and I don't say anything, right? And I have seen him make comments like, okay, like at the beginning of the NFL, like, okay, I heard it. Okay.
Mhm.
Like just natural, like kid frustration. Like you've already told me that Black Lives Matter. You've already told
That's
me
a very
like,
pure reaction.
yeah, that's stuff
Yeah,
I
he's not trying to
really,
impress you. He's just trying,
Yeah.
he's just like speaking his mind. What about, I mean, there's also like, his mother. I don't know if she's a factor at all in all this, but
I think we're pretty similar on that. Where
that's good.
I think we are. I think so. I'm probably a little bit more probably more trusting in kids to like just find their own way.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I like to see their reactions to things. And like on the whole subject of, this is one of my favorite things. We're getting into that next, but like with race, it's like, it's curious to see like a little kid who has no idea, like doesn't know the history at all, like kind of like see how they interact with other people and like culture and like it's interesting. So
Well,
I don't really talk about it. I just want to see like just kind of how he acts, and I don't know.
that takes me to Adam Carolla's story about Sonny and Adam. Oh, there was the Greek player. He kept saying like, oh, and I don't remember the context of how it came up, but he kept referencing, oh, there's a Greek basketball player. And he
I
can
vaguely remember this. Yeah.
yeah, and Adam was like, well, he's black, right? And so he was like, no, he's Greek. He's Greek. And Adam's like, black, right? Like, and Sonny was like, his son, Sonny, was kept honing down on like, he's Greek. Like his name was Greek. He was from Greece. And it turned out he was black, but Sonny only saw him as Greek.
Hold on. I'm going to attempt to pronounce this dude's. Well, the first name, Giannis, but the second name, Antetokounmpo. I don't even know how the fuck to say
You
that.
said it. That was perfect. No one knows. It's
Yeah.
perfect. Spot on.
It kind of
And-
looks like a member from an early 90s R&B group, non-threatening style type shit appearance.
Like a Color Me Bad lead singer kind of guy.
No, more like Boys
What?
to Men type,
Okay.
yeah. Not so much Color Me Bad, but
Okay. Which
Yeah.
one? I don't know any of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, either that. No,
Jay-Z, or there's a Jake. Is a Jake in there somewhere? Maybe, I don't know.
it's Drake, bro.
I did say Dr. Drake last week.
I know. I'm starting to think you just don't like Drake. That's what this is
Crystal
all
White
leading me
Woman.
to believe.
I don't know anything about Drake.
He obviously crossed you because
That
you're
was-
not.
No, that I think that was not me thinking that there was actually someone named Dr. Drake. I think I must have been thinking of another word that had a k sound in it or something like,
Right.
because I'm aware that Dr. Dre and Dr. Drake are two different people.
Sure you are. All right. Cover your ground. Got
Yep.
it. Chris So White.
No, not anymore. Nah,
Not anymore.
Jane So White. Yeah, Jane,
Uh-huh.
you're the champion. So, all right. Well, that brings us into the next and last segment. We're going to talk about something we might do this recurring. We're just talk about our new favorite things, which I thought would be good. We've, I don't know, Jaden's not here, but we've been gone for over a year or so since the last run of Endless Ranters. So, who wants to start? Who's got a favorite thing they want to tell everybody about?
I got one, but it's super basic. It's an
That's
air.
fine.
I got to go with the air fryer. My biggest discovery in the last year. I know.
I know.
It's so basic, and I'm drinking white wine, and I'm blonde, and I
Yeah.
live alone. Like, it's the ultimate basic.
Monster.
Yeah, but you know,
know.
it's so I started the pandemic in a tiny apartment with no ventilation in Chicago, and I was like, I'm gonna start eating, like cooking my own food. I'm gonna get an iron skillet and start like grilling up some steaks. And I did that, but it like filled my apartment with smoke, and it's
Yeah,
such a smoke.
that shit's a
It was
mess.
like
Yeah.
it was a disaster. And even though I loved the char on it, but I was like, I can't do this. So I got an air fryer, and it solved all my problems.
Does it put a char on the outside? Like, do you get
It
any
does a
kind
little.
of,
I do get a level of crisp, but not what you would get from a cast iron.
well, I really like air fry, like the memes that make fun of people that have air fryers and talk about them all the time. I enjoy
I don't get
those.
these. I have not seen those.
See,
but
like how
maybe-
people with air fryers
but
think they're
maybe,
better than everybody.
you
and all
know,
that kind of stuff.
Facebook knows not to shame me.
Yeah, like you have.
Oh,
Like, oh yeah,
no.
trust me. Facebook knows you have an air fryer for sure. It
It
probably
is-
knows, like, don't show you the
But
meme making
It
fun of
probably, if it's really smart, it knows I'm due for a new one because I put so much mileage on it.
you.
I mean, I use
I'd
it
like to
twice
get
a
an air fryer.
day.
Yeah.
It's so good. Like, I just throw like I also change I pretty much eat 80% meat. I eat meat and eggs every meal. If I don't, it's because I went out with friends. Like, that's the only reason. So
I would like to have an air fryer. It sounds
so good. It's easy.
it's a weird, it sounds too good to be true. So part of me doesn't believe you that it works that well, but I
Yeah,
do believe you
mean,
that it works that well. And
it's very
don't know.
efficient. It works. It'll make, you know, when you go out for like a real barbecue, like Texas barbecue, you're going to appreciate it, but it's not like Texas barbecue is so much better that you're like, I can't handle just what I put in my air fryer.
well, in the last year I've added a crock pot to my culinary skills.
Well, you
Uh,
also have kids over, so you have to like cook for you're
Yeah.
dealing with multiple people, which is different too.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, I like the crock pot. I do like country style ribs in the crock pot just because it literally like is 2 minutes of preparation. They just wait 6 hours. and
Right.
You're good to
yeah,
go.
yeah.
So I mean, that's fun. Air fryer. Yeah, I need to graduate to an air fryer eventually.
Okay. That's that, and I got a wine stopper, you know, like with the vacuum to like
Okay.
make your
Yeah.
wine. So, because I'm one person, I'm like, I don't want to open a wine bottle if like I can't drink a whole bottle in one night. So
Pussy.
having a wine stopper makes me
You're lying.
I might be close now, but
Yeah.
but this makes me more motivated to be like, I can just open this nice bottle tonight. I can save it for, you know, in a few days. I don't feel pressured to like finish it.
Why would
So
I'm not gonna let you? I know you're. Yeah.
okay, give it to me.
You're finishing the
Chris.
bottle the next day.
Not necessarily. Sometimes I
This
have
gives
shit
you
to
the
do.
freedom. Okay. This gives you
It
the
gives me the
freedom to wait a couple
freedom.
days.
Yes.
Hmm. Okay.
Yes. Like, I don't always have the leeway to drink the next day. Like I'm like, oh, I want to give myself a break.
Okay. Wine stopper. I guess that would make sense. Yeah.
For one person,
Yeah.
totally.
Well,
Air fryer wine stopper. This is single girl life.
I'm all with you with the air fryer.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Manny? Other than not throwing up and not having horrible back pain.
I'd have to take it back to what I originally brought up and brag about my bed. Hold on, let me share the screen with y'all so you can see.
Okay. You got a new bed.
Yeah. Let me see.
What are we looking up at?
Give me a second.
Okay. Looked like you were looking up at the ceiling.
Oh no, that's where you guys are at, but I'm looking
Okay.
directly in the camera, and it's this bad boy that my
Kind of
homeboy.
horrified.
About what?
Kind of horrified. It was under $300, but that's okay.
Oh well, it's originally 300, so it's okay. I saved some cash. This thing.
That's my horrified part.
Don't be horrified. It's good quality. The first night I slept on this motherfucker, it was like I just got home from the fucking hospital and just slept through the entire night, which
It looks like
rarely
a hospital
happens.
bed.
Which rarely happens. I know it does look like a
Did it come
hospital
with like
bed.
an IV drip stand?
No, that would have put me over 400,
Okay.
unfortunately. Yeah, I got the basic
make your
model.
own. I'll make you one.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate that. So I love it because after I'm done being a lazy asshole, I just fucking fold this bad boy up, push it off to the side, and I have a lot more space to either fuck with some yoga or just walk around more because, like, much like our homegirl Meg, I live in a small studio. So, you know, living that studio life, you got to make the most of what you have. And yeah, there's the only downside, and it's not really a downside because it's just like, whatever, just learn to live with it, is where the hell's my mouse pointer at? Right here. You see these little wheels at the bottom?
Casters, yeah.
Yeah. So you gotta like unfold it one at a time, and when you're folding it back up, depending if you don't put it up against the wall, it'll start rolling away from you. Yeah. So I always make sure to put one end against the wall so it doesn't, because that shit's fucking annoying.
Do they have like wheel stoppers? Like, do they have a way to like?
Oh fuck! You just reminded me. It does have wheel locks. I just never fucking engage them.
Yeah. Those things that stick out from the wheels.
Yeah. Smooth move, Mo man. Thank you, Jane.
So helpful. This podcast.
How can
is
they
helping
not
people.
have that?
It's there. I just forget. You just reminded me. I honestly forget to engage them. So, you know, I'm a forgetful idiot like that. So that's my new favorite
You're
thing.
welcome.
Yeah,
good for you, man.
Jane.
That's too bad that Jaden is frozen and dead because he got a new bed this week too.
Not a Murphy bed.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty jealous of his bed too because I wanted something similar to that. I thought I would have been dope, but yeah. Twin size is a lot more suitable for my arrangement.
All right.
Murphy bed's cool too because then, like in the show, like TV shows, you can hide someone in there. You just close it up and you can hide someone in there. And,
there's a lot of comedic value to Murphy bed.
True.
All right, Chris,
my new favorite. I got all kinds of new favorite things, but I'd say this week would be a new podcast I've been listening to called Hotep's Been Told Ya. And number one, it's two black guys. They're funny. That's the number one thing is they're funny. And I just I've been kind of getting into their podcast, kind of their point of view. Their guys they're definitely right-leaning or conservative guys. Again, they're funny, but they just have a lot of. I like their social commentary. I like.
How'd you find them?
Commentary. Yeah. What's that?
How'd you find the show?
I think just on Twitter. I just started seeing these. I don't know why, but just
Is this after you got blocked by Allison Rosen?
No, this is a while back. Yeah. Because I saw these guys on Twitter, and I was like, oh, that's pretty funny and it's pretty true. And you know, their commentary is pretty biting on black and white people, really.
Are there any topics discussed that you haven't heard discussed before, or is it everything we've already heard and just their brand, the spin put on it?
They do cover like mainstream political news, and they kind of talk about their point of view on things, which is I don't know. I've always been into like the views, like people that would like maybe surprise you, and it could be even kind of a like a racist thing to start with, where you look at someone, you look at like whatever ethnicity they are, and you make an assumption about their political leanings, right? Or what they kind of think about that. And so I've always liked when folks like that, you make assumptions and you're wrong, because it kind of teaches you something. But so they're black guys, but they're kind of conservative. They lambast, Democrats and black folks that vote 95% for Democrats all the time. They're pretty tough on conservatives too, because they're mostly full of shit. Republicans they're just as full of shit. They don't really care about anybody. And they kind of see everybody in America, like middle class, as it doesn't matter if you're black and white, we're all the same. Like we're all being hosed, or,
Yeah.
like we're really, like, we can try to like argue amongst ourselves about our different skin colors or whatever, but
We're all being hosed.
played. We're all the product, basically. And I don't know, I like that, so I like I don't know, black conservatives or gay Republicans or something like that, or people that like surprise you with their point of view.
Right.
But at the same time, their point of view has a lot of merit. So that's been interesting. But they also talk about a lot of stuff like in the black community or black culture that I'm totally unaware of.
A lot of black Twitter talk that goes over your head.
They do talk about black Twitter sometimes, and but they kind of make fun of it, because it's, they just kind of talk about what's black Twitter doing this week. Like,
right.
What's black Twitter done, like said about Biden, or it's pretty funny. And they talk about some things that I have no idea what they're talking about, but I like that too, because it's, I don't know. I think that's good for us to, I don't know, kind of be surprised and have our ideas challenged and see where other people are coming from. But I don't know. I guess I probably, if they were like completely opposite to me politically, maybe I wouldn't listen, but they're funny. And there's enough things I have in common or kind of believe the same thing that I'm willing to listen to other ideas that I don't really necessarily agree with, but I don't know. You kind of have to know what other people are thinking, right?
Agreed.
So, but that's been fun. Yeah. Hotep's Been Told Ya. It's pretty damn entertaining.
Give them a listen, but not before our show.
Yeah. Listen to us first, Adam Carolla, Lady Lackeys, then you can give them a listen. But yeah, it's pretty funny. But I think that they would be really good with Adam, because
yeah, it sounds like it.
Their style is very similar. Like, Adam, like, he'll talk shit about, what's that?
Pitch it to Megan next weekend.
Okay. Yeah, he'll talk shit to like they've had like Scott Adams on, the Dilbert guy that gets on pretty well with Adam. They've had him on and had some long conversations about like Black Lives Matters, and kind of like pretty great conversations to listen to, very edifying. So I'd recommend it. And it's funny. I wouldn't listen to it if they weren't kind of funny. So yeah. Well, that's my favorite new thing. So I don't know. I guess we're probably about ready to wrap it up. We've had another good show.
It's a good run.
Really bummed that Jaden's not here with us, but he lost his power today, like we said earlier. So
his frozen spirit is here with us. So don't worry.
Stuff. Yeah. Hopefully he's still alive. And maybe he's at that oh no, that's too far. Maybe there's a mattress store near him.
I should pitch. Yeah, let him know.
It's kind of crazy when it gets so cold and you have no power. Like, it is really cold. Like you can't create you can't just create heat out of nothing. Like something needs to be on fire.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Do you only have fireplaces? Do people know? I mean, I grew up in California. We had a fireplace in our living room.
There was, in my local Facebook group, some local proprietor that does like firewood, right? Firewood deliveries.
Yeah. Right.
he actually posted the transcript of a voicemail he got from some asshole who was left him like a horrible, like threatening, like insulting voicemail because he was closed, like 2 days ago when there was a blizzard. He couldn't go anywhere.
Right.
I shouldn't even say it was not a blizzard, but I don't even know what my point was, but yeah.
Such a weird entitlement.
Yeah, people are crazy. People are crazy. Like this guy, and because he had a firewood business, he was
You're
obligated
essential.
to have like a $400,000 snow crawler machine that they would have in like Antarctica, to deliver firewood. Like that's like he was obligated to have that on hand. Yeah,
Like,
people are
no,
crazy.
Sorry, it's Texas.
People are crazy. Yeah, there's a weird
Once in a
entitlement thing.
century. This is like once in a century storm for you guys. Something.
I don't
that's
even
what
think
I've
it's
heard.
that rare. I don't
Really?
think that's true.
Okay.
That's just the media hyping shit up unnecessarily.
Isn't it horrible? Like you have no idea. Like unless you're like have access
know
to
what's
the weather
mean.
data yourself, you have no idea like what people are telling you, if it's bullshit or like what they're spinning. Yeah.
I don't know what to believe at this point in life.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that there was an ice storm here like 10 years ago that was very similar that I don't know. I don't remember there being such an uproar and everything being politicized. That's probably it. Yeah. Like someone has to lose their job over everything nowadays. Okay.
I mean, that's what happens when you get rid of public executions, right? You got to see someone burn in another facet.
Yeah. Public executions and also bullying.
Those are the days.
Yeah. Like bullying solved a lot of problems.
So wait, do you think if we bring back public executions, cancel culture will go the way of the dodo?
No, cancel culture is the public execution.
I know, but if you bring back public
kinda.
executions, will cancel culture die down?
I tell you what, there's a lot of people out there that would pay $39.99 for like a pay-per-view of that MyPillow guy being executed.
Oh, totally.
Jesus.
It's so true. That's what
I'd like to run an experiment where I actually put it out there and be like, hey, good news, everybody. We're going to kill this guy at 10 p.m. $29.99 and see how many people fucking click on the link and try put their credit card in.
It's the state of society.
Yeah, it's bad.
And then much like the people that go down to the free cockfight, you put those people on a fucking list.
Oh yeah. Those
eyes on them.
Yep. People that hashtag stuff. Just round them up, deport them.
What did a hashtag do to you, Chris?
I don't know. Still not over it.
Word.
Well, I guess we'll wrap it up.
All
really, yeah, like I said, missing Jaden, but glad we got together. Glad the show must go on, as Jaden said. Yeah, we'll be back next week. And probably live. So look out for some notifications.
I don't know. It's going to be a very special episode next week.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Right. I'm very excited, to be honest with you. Yes.
In person.
That's right.
No lag.
If we do have an episode next week, it'll probably be at the end of the week, like Friday, Saturday, something like that.
Yeah.
So we'll make it a goal to go live then and really figure all that stuff out. So, all right. When I say we, I'm talking about you, Manny.
Yeah, I'll get to that. I know.
I think we're close. And then we'll put the notice out. Does anybody know all of our social, like all of our handles and all that stuff?
So on Twitter, it is Endless Ranters. Instagram, Endless Ranters Podcast. Facebook group page, The Endless Ranters Podcast. Feel free to chime in, bug the shit out of us, interact with other listeners.
Yeah.
And follow us.
Please do. Yeah. Feedback is always welcome. Thanks everybody for watching last week and sharing your thoughts with us. So
yeah, this is fun. I like doing the YouTube.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I guess we'll just wrap it up on that. We'll see you next week. This is Chris saying, get it on.
Get it on, guys.
Get it on.